Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Zennow 2014 World Team Table Tennis Championships in Tokyo. It's the women's quarterfinals match between Romania and Singapore. Singapore is up 1-0, and it is upon her here. Daniela Doodean MONTEIRO, 26 years old, world ranked 53 to even the score. But she will have a tough task ahead of her. She's facing Feng Tianwei, the top player of Singapore, with 8-0 matches so far in this World Championships. Unbeaten, the 27-year-old.
And Feng Tianwei is actually world rank number 7 right now. To be in the top 10 women, very strong showing out here. It's going to be a tough match. And Singapore is already up 1-0. As you mentioned, Feng Tianwei could have 2 wins to take this for Singapore. So Romania is not in the best of positions right now.
Exactly, and if we've been brushing shortly upon this victory of the Singaporean team in 2010 in Moscow. We just see her bronze medal at the Olympics for Feng Tianwei, some of her feats, quarterfinalist 3 times at the World Championships. And she was more than just an integral part of that team, winning the finals match against China, where she took 2 points off of China. And she had probably the performance of her lifetime in 2010.
And that's got to be something that gets into Daniela Doodean's head, too. She knows she's playing a world champion right now. At first, I just saw her free hand as if she was saying, what? What's happening? But then realized that's just her form on her backhand during warm-up.
First game, Romania to serve, level.
So Doodean's going to start us off with the serve. 0-0 in the first game of the second match.
1 love.
Interesting serve. Looked like it was sailing a little bit, sort of a half-long serve, but some deceptive underspin, and Feng right into the net. Much better received from Feng. Doodean training at the WSA, Werner Schlager Academy, so she's going to have a lot of excellent service technique, similar to Schlager with that open face and the toss. Wow. Beautiful rip, way wide to the forehand. Did not hesitate at all to step in and take the angle on that ball.
Recently married, if you're wondering about the 2 family names here, to Portuguese player João Monteiro. Still get some getting used to for the table tennis experts. Getting used to the name Doodean MONTEIRO. I myself might be saying Daniela Doodean more often than not.
That's how we've known her for years and years, so it's a tough habit to break. It's also much shorter and easier. Nothing personal to João Monteiro. After a big backhand right off the bounce close to the table, Doodean has to receive the ball real quickly. Feng, nice block, bringing it back, used to a very fast-paced game over the table.
I have to say, I've seen some ups and downs of Feng Tianwei in 2013. Are we seeing a service warning issued here?
4-2.
Told not to hide the ball. The umpires have been very much on point with their calls so far this tournament, making sure that all rules are enforced. Doodean a little bit behind the table, but still able to pick placement to push Feng back off the table. Doodean has some very fast feet. We've seen her play off the table, step around, similar to the last Romanian, Samara, as far as deep from the table play and comfort.
3-5.
And as you mentioned before, Seb, staying close to the table at this level, very important. Cannot sacrifice that ground. You got to stay in, keep your real estate at the table.
Exactly. Sometimes you do have the feeling you need more time, so you step back from the table. But if you're in a position where you need more time to react to the opponent, you're doing something wrong in the first place.
That's absolutely right. No threat from far away. Even a counterattack as hard as you can from 15 feet behind the table. Too much time for your opponent to react and too much predictability on where the ball's going to go.
6.
6-3, good start for the world champion of 2010.
What a backhand flip right over the table. You could hear the snap on that ball. Just crushed it as it gets up an inch too high over the net.
Bam.
Excellent point. I mean, Daniela Doodean right there with great placement. She starts the receive off wide to the forehand with some misdirection, blocks back some powerful loops, counters. That point had almost everything we've seen, just shy of a chop.
As I was saying, I was seeing some ups and downs from Feng Tianwei lately, but in this tournament, she's so focused. She's back on track to her best form in her career, maybe. On fire in this first game. Look at that.
1-2 combo right off the bounce. Didn't let the ball come up at all. No chance for Doodean to get back in that point. Even in that video, you could barely see the ball bounce. Absolutely on fire. Guess the ball clipped it. Oh, is it a service warning?
Seems to be.
Nice backhands, 2 in a row. These decisions are quick. Feng is putting the ball into the middle of the table, trying to get some hesitation out of Doodean, but Doodean staying strong, making quick decisions to use her backhand on both of those balls. And it's going to cost her the point.
Let me tell you something about service warning, though. We've been seeing that quite some time over this tournament here. Service is something that players are growing up with. They just do it. They don't think about what they're doing. And once you start to think about, do I really move the arm out of the way when you're warned or faulted on a serve even, it can really throw your rhythm off. Look at that. This is something that she normally would not miss at all. And I'm not saying this is just because of the service warning, but you always have that in the back of your head. It's an external impulse in your game, and I have seen games actually turned around by a service warning and a service faulted.
2 quick points for Doodean, now only trailing by 2, 7-9. And it's a 1-point game from the moment of service fault. From 9-5, now 8-9. Forehand to forehand. Doodean, a very, very gutsy play to challenge that forehand from Feng over and over. We've seen 4 in a row for Doodean to tie it up at 9-all. It looked like the game was over, but now it's anybody's game.
Doodean. I don't believe it.
It's a real tough point right now for Feng to have to be worrying about her service call. Coming into the tight points, you want to be able to do whatever you can to have edge on your opponent. You do not want to have to worry about keeping your arm out of the way. Of course, she has to because these are the rules, but it might be in her head. Just overdoing the defense, a little long on the lob. The last lobbing point, we saw some fishing, actually, from Doodean. She won the point, keeping it deep to the backhand corner of the table with some kick. And now it's deuce, Doodean's serve.
Well, that was lucky. Still counts, though. From Feng Tianwei's perspective, she's back on track. I think the last 2 points have seen a much more active Feng Tianwei than before. I think it's safe to say that this service warning did affect her indeed. She did not score a point after 7 points played. Now again, game point for the 27-year-old. And she takes it. 12 to 10, that was a close call there, but in the end, experience prevails. 12 to 10, that's 1-0 for Feng Tianwei.
Second game, Singapore to serve, level.
So 1-0 for Feng Tianwei, 1-0 for Singapore in this quarterfinals match of the World Team Championships 2014.
One, love.
First point to the world champion of 2010 over Daniela Doodean as well.
Two quick points for Feng. Nice underspin serve into the backhand. You can see a change in mentality from Doodean after that overly aggressive receive on the first point to a much more cautious receive for the second. Heavy push from Feng, loaded with underspin. Doodean not able to get the legs into that shot. It was all arm, and she could not get it over. Very nice succession of attacks there. The first backhand, the most powerful, followed up by a nice pace on the second one, and then she steps around for the third on the forehand. Great power, nice placement to the length of the table, and Daniela Doodean takes the point. She's on the board, down 1-3.
It has to be building up confidence for her too, this point during a longer rally. Bit of a pick-me-up here. Wake-up call, if you will, for this second game. Feng Tianwei just keeps on going. Good quality on the serve. Drifted out a bit too long, but still heavy backspin.
And Feng has not lost a point yet on her serve. She's won them all that time with a third ball instead of outright on the serve. It's the only third ball she's had to play on her serve so far this game. Great early start in game two for Feng Tianwei to put 2 on the board for Singapore. But we're still only in game 2, so this could be anybody's match. Not a bad serve, nice half long. Great patience from Feng as she waited for the ball to come off the table and spin it up to the backhand corner. Just trying to turn on the forehand, overdoing it a little bit. The ball sails long. Doodean now trailing by 4. Going for the counter backhand from way deep off the table after several fishing shots. Feng playing patiently, keeping her pinned on the backhand corner. It's going to be very difficult for Doodean to get back in that point with a backhand from way back there.
Exactly. She has to go high risk like she did in the last attempt there. sometimes is really the simple solution. Although you have to feel you need to increase the speed, you sometimes just have to pin your opponent on one side. Wow.
Great placement after a net ball. Turning around, you saw Feng turn around and take that big forehand right into the backhand of Doodean. And then to the very corner of the table. Feng knows she has no chance at that ball. Doodean's got to convert that point. That's a difference between 4-7 and 3-8. She's trailing by a lot right now. You can see it on her face. She knew she needed it. Now it's time to collect herself and get ready for the next point. Can't let it affect her mentally moving forward. That was a very deceptive serve. I was sure I saw topspin, and sure enough, so was Feng, and then right into the net.
The issue with these professional players, of course, is not that they're unable to react to the spin. Whatever amount of spin you put on the ball, they'll be able to return it. But really, the art of serving and the art of creating spin is making look like it's completely different spin.
Right, the art of deception. You got it right. And both players have this art down very well, as the receive game has been very difficult for both players throughout this entire game. Oh my goodness, spanked across court. Counter rally starting, and the big finish for Doodean. 1-2, and then bam! Nobody home to answer that phone. 4-point game, Doodean is trailing 5-9. Little bit of spin, changing the pace deep to the backhand, taking Feng out of her rhythm a little bit. Feng is used to the very fast, low to the table play. Nice versatility from Doodean. Let's see if she can keep it up to make her come back again. She was down 5-9 last game.
Oh, that was a clever receive. Pushing it out long into the backhand of Daniela Doodean.
And you could see the surprise on her face as the ball caught the table. I think she thought it was off.
Left, 10, 6.
Much better receive on that ball to push into the middle. And a nice big forehand there to take the point, put the pressure on. Doodean still trailing by 3, fighting off 3 more game points if she can.
Left, 10, 7.
That lead stayed as close to the net as it could. It almost looked like it came back on her side.
Shortest bounce ever. Is that what she's going for again? 3 more game points remaining.
Very nice. You can see Doodean keeping it on the backhand corner as Feng started to break to the forehand side. She did not have a power on the third ball there because of the placement. Very smart play by Doodean.
But as she misses this topspin attempt here, 11-8 is the result of this second game. That's 2-0, which could be considered a comfortable lead for Feng Tianwei.
Time. Both of you.
So Doodean is trailing by 2 now, 0-2 in game 3. Umpire giving a word of warning for service, it looked like.
Third game. Romania to serve.
Any
Level.
sentence that starts with both of you means there's going to be some listening going on.
Love. One.
Unbelievable
Okay,
receive.
okay.
That point, what happened? Just
For a second there, I thought it was lead, but that was just an excellent serve receive.
there was no response at all. I thought it was a lead too because Doodean didn't even move. That's how short the receive was. Unbelievable touch by Feng. And backhand to backhand, Doodean able to take that point. She's got a bit of a shotgun backhand herself if you hit it into the wheelhouse. Changes up, spin instead of speed. Nice pace change from Doodean. Takes an early lead, but just 1 point.
Well, the idea here for Daniela Doodean was just to vary the pace here, just go for a bit of slower spinny topspin to break the rhythm of Feng Tianwei. But in the end, it broke her own rhythm.
Right, I think Feng got clever with changing the pace and saying, yeah, 2 can play that game. I'm up for the challenge. And with that change of pace you're talking about, I think Doodean can change the pace all day long, but what it really comes down to is finding the opportunity to step around and take that forehand winner. Right idea, a little bit greedy, a little bit ambitious, overshooting the wide angle on that backhand corner. This towel break is much like a mini timeout right now for Doodean. She's gathering her thoughts. You can see the look on her face, and it's not just the Schlager eyebrows that come up to the center. It's the deep thinking right now in this game. What a shot. She sees Feng Tianwei turn the corner, and in a moment, a heartbeat, makes this decision right down the line, no hesitation. World-class play to be able to make these decisions like that, to use your peripheral and sense that your opponent's turning. Soft block on the forehand side. Feng stepping in and putting the power on, staying right near the table for the second ball.
Dominant expression too, clenching her fist here, looking at her opponent. She's in it to win it. Service error. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, Adam, but we've actually seen a lot of service errors in this tournament. There's at least one in each game I've commentated on in the last 3 days.
6-4.
That's right, and I think that's just a testament to how much pressure there is to make sure your serves are absolutely on point, low to the net, short, or decisively long when they're going to be long. You can't be sloppy and just, you know, you have to be very intentional with every serve, which is why we're seeing all these faults.
This is just something she could do all day, Feng Tianwei. The push was way too high from Daniela Doodean. Nice cross-court action. Oh, good technique on the forehand topspin. And there's 4 points to go for Feng Tianwei. And Romanian coach feeling the need here for a timeout. Bit of a passive timeout approach. There are active timeouts and passive timeouts. This one, much more a defensive one.
And real quickly for some of our listeners, can you explain the difference between an active and a passive timeout?
Exactly. Active timeout used when you're leading, when you're in front, and the opponent starts to score, let's say, 2 or 3 points. And before it gets to that crucial stage of you losing the lead, you take a timeout just to make sure that you stay in the lead, make the gravity of the situation sink in with the opponent, and just calm the game down for a second. And then these defensive timeouts when nothing is working out and you're starting to lose the game here. And as Daniela Doodean now is in danger of losing the match even, just take this time out, bring her back on track, focus her thought, collect yourself, go back to the table, do your best. Interestingly enough, though, we see in Asian teams more often than not actually the offensive timeout, while in European teams you usually see the defensive timeout, as we saw here.
That is a very interesting observation that I think you're right. I mean, I've been seeing that this whole tournament. Very astute, Seb.
7-4. Second serve for Feng Tianwei. And although that was a point for her opponent, really the initiative was once again with Feng Tianwei. She just missed that by a fraction.
Not a bad response from Doodean off that fast serve deep into the backhand. Nice first opening ball cross court to the forehand. Takes a little bit of pace off, and you see Feng going for the short corner. If that ball lands, it's going to be putting Daniela Doodean way off the table. One of those backhand defensive shots.
7-4.
Looked like topspin again. Ball floated deep on the table. Very interesting set of serves. And it's 7-all after the timeout. Romania, valuable timeout so far. Very uncomfortable shot. We haven't seen Feng taking a ball like that. Had to step completely around the table to try and take an inside-out forehand. Shot selection, Seb.
Yeah, and decision making too. I don't think that was just the right idea to just play forehand on that one. Could have easily kept the ball in play with the backhand topspin. And I've talked about ups and downs of Feng Tianwei, and you can see a bit of that right here. She has these phases where she's hitting everything. And then there are moments like this when I have now 5 mistakes in a row.
Much credit to Doodean. You can see her come back in the table after that forehand. See, she starts moving in, keeps the pressure on, using both sides. She steps around that ball for another forehand. She's in trouble. Good thing she has that backhand on her resume. This is getting very, very tight. Doodean fighting down 0 games to 2. Had a 9-7 lead after a great timeout. Feng is closing in, but Doodean has the serve. Should be in control of this point. Very unusual ball deep, deep on the table. It looked like the rhythm of Doodean was pretty thrown. Not expecting the bounce she got. Tied up now, 9-all in the business end, as you guys say, of this game, and the match for that matter.
Just a term I picked up from the great Don Parker. Business end, indeed, 9-all. And it's match point Feng Tianwei. And let me just shortly come back to this. This is just the hallmark of a great player. It's just to be 100% there when the time comes. And this is at 9-9 here. And we see Feng Tianwei once again fully focused on the task at hand. And if she takes the next point, her losing the last 4 out of 5 doesn't matter anymore.
And she does it. Feng Tianwei, great recovery of game 3 after an excellent effort from Daniela Doodean MONTEIRO of Romania. And now Singapore goes up 2 matches to 0 in the overall matchup.